It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Tuesday, February 14th. And this is the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. We're on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe, follow us on SoundCloud, and make sure to support us on Patreon. So what is happening on this wonderful and awesome Tuesday? We've got current news from around the world, the practical word study, and we will not have Provi in the meeting. I'll just let you know a little bit later. All right, so how are you doing today? Yes, it is Tuesday, and I just said we're not doing Provi in the media today, and it's because I'm recording this while Sunseem's trial is going on, and his trial starts at like 4 p.m. Korea time, so it's like 3 p.m. in Malaysia. So I won't have any updates on the trial probably until tomorrow or the day after. So let's just let's see when I'll make sure you guys are kept updated on what actually happened during that one and what's going to happen. And when's the next trial date? Probably going to be somewhere in March too. But either way, so that's the only reason I'm not doing Provi in the media today. So I hope it's something that you guys, I know you guys are looking forward to some updates, but I'm recording. And the trial has just started, so I can't really get into that. But I hope that all of you guys are having an amazing week, and I hope your Mondays were awesome too. Really thankful that all you guys are joining us here, starting your day with the Morning Star Drive. So keep liking. Yes, if you're on that phone right now, just hit that like button on SoundCloud or YouTube. Would love to kind of see your reactions and what you guys think about this. And comment if you can too. I want to hear from you guys and see how you're doing. So let's build this community. All right, so let's get into today's Tuesday. Well, actually, before we get into the Tuesday podcast, or kind of my insights of what I've been doing lately, Q&A Thursday is around the corner, so get your questions ready for this week. Q&A is one of the most popular segments every week, and I do put a lot of effort into it just so people can understand and do better in. They're able to get their hearts and their minds to be thinking in the right direction of what God wants us to do each and every day. And if you have any questions, things that you're stumped by, things that you're not really sure about, kind of like last week, I hope that you guys can ask, put it in the DM, put it in my DMs or in the comments below. Would love to hear about your questions too. So I really enjoy it also. And it's my way of being in this history for about 24, 25 years and being able to give back to you guys too. So, man, yesterday, I slept so late. Like, I didn't sleep till after pre-dawn, which was like 5:30 a.m. And my first, I went out, and my first schedule was at like 10, and it takes like 30 minutes to get there. So I was just exhausted today. But I did take a cold shower. And those of you guys who don't know, Andrew Huberman, he's a neuroscientist. And he says, if you're tired, there's a hack that you could trick your brain into not being tired anymore. And all you do is look up. Not tilt your head upwards, like you're looking up at something. So your head kind of remains straight and stable, but your eyes look up, and hold that stare looking at the ceiling or looking up for about 30 seconds, and it tricks your brain into waking up again. So if you do ever get tired when you're studying or you're in church or whatever it is, stare up for 30 seconds. Yeah, it's actually longer than you think. But I did that. I had no problems. I drove, I drove pretty far away. Went to the wrong places, probably because I was not in my right mindset. But yeah, I didn't sleep, and I was like thinking to myself, like, why can't I sleep? And the answer is, late last night I went to a cafe with a buddy of mine, to this really, really nice cafe. Well, it's nice not because of the food or the coffee, because I tried it and it wasn't very good. We went at 8:30 p.m., but the view is amazing. So that's someplace I do think a lot of you guys can go check out. It's really, really nice there. But like I just said, it was 8:30 p.m. at night, and I had a coffee there. Bad mistake. I knew it's one of those, it's one of those YOLO things. It's like, yeah, you only live once. I might never come back to this cafe again. I might as well order the coffee. And I didn't even get the coffee until like 9 p.m. So I had this sea salt rose latte because that was a specialty they had over there. And I regret it. Yeah, I was awake all night. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And, when you're an idle mind is a devil's playground. It's just the thoughts that you have is just like, oh, gosh, I don't want to think about any of this. But then I can't even get to sleep. It's just kind of your mind goes bouncing here and there. And I'm sure a lot of us have been through that situation, whether it's been from coffee or just having a stressful time. And you realize like, man, I shouldn't be doing this or I shouldn't be thinking this. But you can't help it. I thought to myself, I should have just gone to exercise. I should have just done that instead. That would have been way more productive than just sitting in bed doing nothing or like watching YouTube or something like that. It was just terrible. But yeah, this whole month, there was like, I was on vacation for 3 weeks, and then there was like Chinese New Year, and friends came over, staying up really late. I don't know what it was. I just stayed up just recently over the last month, just been staying up, and it just hasn't been healthy. My sleeping schedule is off, but I will not drink coffee past 2 p.m. just to get myself back in the cycle that I should be in. So there is this TV Netflix show that I'm watching. It's a Korean one called Physical 100. Have you guys ever heard of this one? Or you guys are watching this one or not? Like, it is pretty incredible. And it's really, really intense. So they take like the 100 fittest, not the fittest, but 100 different body shapes and sizes, like really, really fit people, whether they're YouTubers, they're in the special forces, they're bodybuilders, they're MMA fighters, there's wrestlers, Olympic wrestlers, gymnasts, baseball athletes. There's just every type of body there. Every type of body. Like everyone, like you see 100 bodies and it's just like, whoa, what is this about? And they go through these quests and the winner gets like $300,000 US. So I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of money. But when I was, some of the first scenes is like, yeah, it's okay. It's like it's about strength or agility, whatever it is. But the Quest 3, the latest one they had, is there's this boat that's like 2 tons, right? It's 2 tons, so that's like what, 4,000 pounds. Okay, so here is 2-ton boat, 4,000 pounds, and 10 people have to drag this boat across the sand or across the dirt, not sand, dirt or sand. I think it's sand there too. And then lift it up an incline dock and dock this boat, right? And it's really interesting because there's 2 things that I thought were pretty interesting. Right? So look, think about it. These are like probably some of the people with the largest egos. Like, I'm not saying ego as in like negative thing. Like for an athlete, it's a very, very important thing to have a big ego because you're the best of the best and you have to play like the best and you have to believe that you can defeat anyone, right? And so they had bodybuilders, Olympians, YouTubers, like fitness instructors, CrossFit, world's strongest men competitors, special forces, all from Korea, right? And they had to pick captains for these teams of 5. And it's so interesting because everyone there was either picking the eldest or the strongest, right? Those are the people they're picking as captains, the eldest or the strongest, like the most physically fit or the strongest, right? And I found that to be very interesting because when they see these quests, when they understand what kind of quests are going on, everyone is like, they either judge people and say you're a captain because you're the biggest, right? You're the strongest one here, or you're the captain because you're the eldest. And when I saw that, I honestly thought that was quite interesting. And I looked at that as I was trying to look at the positive and the negatives of it, right? Now, back in the days, like when you look at Israel, the reason why they always trusted the eldest is because the eldest were considered the wisest and the one with the most experience, right? And back in those days, it's kind of more true than it is now, right? They're the ones always in the community. They're the ones making big decisions, judging certain things, and they're considered then there's massive respect for those that are older. Right? Now, in today's society, I think it's a little bit different because not everyone will have those types of experiences. People can live on their own. People can do the things that they want. People live like, and when I look at the Korean culture in this, I find it interesting because it's almost like it's programmed in them because, or it's an Asian culture, right? It's programmed that you don't want to disrespect the eldest person. So the eldest person has to be a captain because there's a direct hierarchy when it comes to age. So that's one thing I really understood. And in this match, when you have all these people who are working only on their bodies, I thought that the eldest one was a good pick because it was this guy. He's 50 years old, MMA fighter, super famous. And he's been through a lot of different experiences, and he was a great team leader. And then there's also, when I saw the strongest, they weren't actually the oldest. And I thought something interesting about that was the one of the captains who's considered the scariest, like the strongest, the fastest, and the person that you don't want to mess with kind of thing. But he wasn't much of a leader, and that made me kind of think a lot about like even for us too, how we kind of make mistakes when we choose people or we choose leadership. Like say even in our churches, why would we choose leadership? Is like say this guy, I forget what his name is. His name is like Songbin or something like that. He was like an Olympic bobsled or skeleton, right? And he is definitely one of the fastest, one of the strongest, one of the most endurance, right? But he's still young. And he's in an event that is an individual event, so he's not really working with teams, right? And when I saw why they chose him, it's very interesting because he has a specific skill, like he's very, very good at something. And I think that's one of the mistakes we make, not just in Providence or in churches, but in businesses and organizations too. You find someone who's really, really good at something, like one thing, and then you think that this guy can be a leader, but you realize that leadership is a much, much different thing. Right? Now, I think to myself, I'd say, well, that really old guy, he's like 50 years old. He's an MMA fighter. He's ex-MMA fighter, but he was a champion and stuff, like judo champion too. And when I looked at this guy, I thought to myself, well, isn't like fighting also a one-on-one event? But I was looking at that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I think, like a lot of these people, like he did judo, they have their teams and, they help each other, they train each other, where maybe Olympians are not so much training each other, but they're all on their own. But that's just my opinion. But I do think it was interesting how they chose by who is the strongest and who is the oldest, right? And I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, maybe like those two criteria may work in some situations, but not all. You know what I mean? Like, I think it works in situations when someone has a lot of experience, like, say, the eldest pastor, right? Or the person who's been pastoring the longest, or the person who's been in a leadership position for the longest is going to have different types of experiences and wisdom that other people may not have. But when it comes to certain things, like when it was a team sport, I thought it was very interesting how they still went by that guideline and didn't think differently. And I was watching them, like there's 3 teams and two of the teams already finished this boat thing, but it was really amazing to see how that older guy just led the team. Like he led. He was the one encouraging them. He's telling everyone, don't worry, we got time. Everyone take a breath. All right, let's go at it again. 1, 2, 3, pull, whatever it is, right? And he was the one that was very careful. He was the one that was thinking the most, and he was the one thinking strategy was everything. And when I was looking at the second team, like this guy, like this older guy's team wasn't the strongest or the fastest team, right? They had like 2 girls on their team, and then the other team is all guys. And the other team that's all guys, they know they're the strongest and the fastest. They never thought about strategy at all, and all they thought about was just pull it, and we'll just use all of our strength and energy, right? And the thing that was very, very interesting about that was when you see their times, in the beginning, the young and strong ones were doing the best. Like they were like 3 minutes ahead of the same time as the other group. And then as it got to the last point, you can see that they were up by over 3 minutes. And then by the time they got to the dock to lift it on an incline, they were down by like 30 seconds, right? So it was very, very interesting to see that. And I would have to say another thing that was very interesting is when you look at the pride and the ego of these athletes, like it's for $300,000 US. The winner gets that, right? And there's like girls and guys in it. And there's like cheerleaders who have no muscles, whatever it is. There's a baseball player that doesn't have much on him either, right? But the thing that I found super interesting was there was this second quest when they get to go one-on-one and the loser's out. All these people, because of their pride, it wasn't about winning. It was about pride. They just wanted to like not feel like they're losing face. So if I was there, honestly, I would have gone straight to the cheerleader because she's by far the weakest. She shouldn't be making it into the next round. She shouldn't, right? And when I saw that, I was like going, they started choosing people of equal strength, like in size. Isn't that weird? Like if you're in a contest and it's like do or die, like if you're gonna face someone one-on-one, why would you fight against someone who's your equal when you're wrestling with them and trying to get a ball away from them and stuff, right? I would have straight up, like, if it's for the win, this got nothing to do with pride, but these athletes, they have that pride and that ego, and they're like trying to find equals or trying to find someone bigger. Tell me that's crazy. They're trying to find a bigger, better challenge to prove themselves. When the point of the entire program is not to prove yourself, it's actually just to win. So when I looked at that, I was like going, oh, that is so interesting, because I know so many, I know that so many people, if it has to do with winning, would not, do it that way. Like I totally wouldn't do it that way. But yeah, very, very interesting. How it's interesting how these people, because they're all athletes, they're thinking in a very, very different way. Like very, very different. They have pride and ego and stuff like that too. So it made me think about myself, because I'm a guy too. And I was thinking to myself, I'd be like, no way. I would go straight for the cheerleader. That's what I do. And, just to make it to the next round, I'd be doing that instead. But yeah, it was quite interesting. So if you guys ever see that, it's a reality show. So it's not like any of these, like a regular TV show. I really like it because it's reality and it's you against everyone else. And then there's teams and stuff like that too. But I enjoyed it either way. So like I said before, also Provi the Media, we'll do the update tomorrow or the day after, mainly because Sunsea's trial is going on right now as I am doing this recording for the podcast. So I do think I won't be able to, it's not going to finish by the time I'm done recording this. So I hope that's something that you guys can, let's pray for good news, and let's hope that I can be reporting good news for tomorrow or the day after. All right. Did you guys see the poll already? The poll for what spiritual superpower you want? And it's going pretty good. And a lot of people are kind of what do you call it? They're writing comments also. Some person was saying to be more diligent. I'm not sure if that's like what you consider like a spiritual superpower, like healing and stuff like that too. But number one is healing. I think that would be number one. Healing is 44%. And then number two is quite interesting. It's casting out Satans and demons. That is interesting. I didn't think that would be number two. Number three is the other. And then in last place, tied with 11%, is interpreting dreams and prophecy. And I found that to be very, very interesting. But healing, I was pretty certain that everyone would pick healing. Well, most people would pick healing first. But you know what? I should have put another one of like seeing or hearing ghosts and demons. I should have put that as a fifth one, because that would be kind of one of those cool spiritual powers too. Either way, so that is what's going on over there. So hopefully you guys just go ahead, write in the poll which one would be your superpower. And of course, think about it as a superpower, not something like, like being more diligent, because that's something you could do. Like you could just be more diligent, right? Or, it's not something that you could do on your own, but it's something that is kind of like a gift from God. Right? And I think that would be, that's something I think is a cool question. Either way. So let's get the show started on this wonderful Tuesday. We're going to start off with some music from member artists from around the world. And we'll start off with AG from Japan. And a new song I haven't played yet. It's trance music for I Want to Move the Heart of God. Love this song. It's a great, great trance music for this. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Then we have Rapture Collective from Australia with Me and My Squad. And we'll end things off with Chune from Die Wings in Korea with Dear Mine.
doubt I gotta work with this one. I'm ready. Our war's not against flesh and blood though. But we got our swords ready. Come on, let's get it. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's me and my squad. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's me and my squad. 7 strands of rope in a knot. I'm not on my own, better leave us alone. I got God, the Spirit, the Son, Jesus the one, the angels of heaven in the block behind me. I heard them blabbing their talk behind my back. Gossip is gossip. Talk is cheap, I ask them to show me. It's easy to tell, they don't even know me. Rarely saw them walking the walk, just talking the talk. I know that they're bluffing. Never mind you, I do what I do. I'm focused on the world, I ain't worried about you. No way. No, we're not the same, I do what's required to pay all my dues. I'm riding the new wave. We're not on the same level, we got different views. I do things in new ways. As soon as I hear the word and get up from the pews. Yeah, I'm never the same, but my heart doesn't change. Yeah, I'm one with the Lord and I'm rapping his name. Yeah, I'll go to the end, that's the aim of the game. That's the aim of the game. Emptying out all my thoughts and putting on Christ, cause you know I've been saved. No doubt about it. If you're looking for proof, tell the world to come see me. Here in Somni, we do things legitly. From Alpha and Omega, we do things completely.
Everyday life of faith, building strong foundation.
Spiritual gains.
Consistency, we go all the way. It's how we start and finish our day. Don't care about what they say, living out the word of truth anyway. I look to the hills where my help comes from. It's me and my squad.
Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's me and my squad. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's me and my squad. 7 strands of rope in a knot. I'm not on my own, better leave us alone. I got God, the Spirit, the Son, Jesus the one, the angels of heaven in the block behind me. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's me and my squad. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's me and my squad. 7 strands of rope in a knot. I'm not on my own, better leave us alone. Try and tug and pull, you find there's no breaking me. Solid faith like a rock, no hope of shaking me.
They rambling, soon as our squad shows up, demons be scrambling. Laying down my own thoughts, I pick up my cross. No need to worry, I'll follow the boss. 777, never ending, winning again like it's 7-Eleven. Don't count us out, getting up again, never giving up. So much strength from the source. Like a leaky faucet, so much drip. Grace was running in place, slipping on contradictions. Now I got traction, moving forward victoriously, conviction. Just stuck in since prison, Lord set me free, no more cage. Dropped all the charges, you don't wanna tussle. We move and hustle, talk is cheap, gotta walk it out. Every day, show you what we bout, something live. They rolling with 6s, we rolling on 7s. Staying on course till we reaching the heavens.
Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's me and my squad. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's me and my squad. 7 strands of rope in a knot. I'm not on my own, better leave us alone. I got God, the Spirit, the Son, Jesus the one, the angels of heaven in the block behind me.
We go until the end, unending, won't catch us slipping when it's game time. Holy Spirit assists, ask for strength and multiplies. When spirits involved, problems resolve, new strength and resolve, no limits dissolve. You thought it was over until we called Jehovah. When my squad shows up, it's game over.
Don't cry for me, cry for yourself. Me and my squad.
어디서부터 어디까지 생각해야 할지 이 작은 한 걸음조차 어디를 찌들지 머리가 온통하해질 때 내 지난 길 돌아보면 그대라는 희망이 빛나요 시기와 음해로 얼룩진 말들에 내 진심이 베이지 않게 그대를 등불 삼아 난 나아가요 어려움도 아픔도 이 또한 지나가는 중이니 나를 주어진 길을 난 살아내겠어요 진심을 가장한 이기심에 거친 참견들 적당히 듣는 척 흘리는 팁에 그대가 준 용기와 사랑이 내 믿음과 기적이 돼 힘내어 나아가요 지켜봐줘요 And keep in mind 묻어있던 걱정들은 털어내
That was Chunhe, the lead singer for Dio Wings with Dear My. Before that, me and my squad, Rapture Collective from Australia, and of course, feature arts of the day. That's some trance music of the song I Want to Move the Heart of God. All right, so now that we have this time of music all put in the bag, let's get into today's current news. What is going on around the world? And of course, as brides of this history, we really need to know what is happening so that we can pray and repent for what is going on. So we're going to get into first the situation in Turkey and Syria. And Turkey is now issuing 113 arrest warrants connected to building construction. So officials in Turkey say 113 arrest warrants have been issued in connection with the construction of buildings that collapsed in Monday's earthquake. Turkish police have already taken at least 12 people into custody, including building contractors. Meanwhile, unrest in southern Turkey has disrupted rescue efforts in some places. So far, guys, what's the number for people who've confirmed dead? It's over 33,000 now, which means what the WHO said was true. It is already eightfold, and the number is going to continue to rise. More arrests are expected, but the action will be seen by many as an attempt to divert overall blame for the disaster. For years, experts were warning that many new buildings in Turkey were unsafe due to endemic corruption and government policies. Those policies allowed so-called amnesties for contractors who swerved building regulations in order to encourage a construction boom, including in earthquake-prone regions. Thousands of buildings collapsed during the earthquake, raising questions about whether the natural disaster's impact was made worse by human failings. And with elections looming, the president's future is on the line after spending 20 years in power. The UN has warned that more than 800,000 people are without adequate meals, and its aid agency on the ground is warning the final death toll from the quake is likely to double. In Syria, the death toll now stands at more than 3,500. Well, I think it's over 4,000 now, but new figures have not been published since Friday. Now, hope of finding many more survivors is fading despite some incredible rescues, and it's already been about 10, 11 days since the earthquake actually happened. So it's been it's been longer than I thought, right? But already 10 days, guys. So prayers still go out to everyone who is out there right now and all the people who are still trapped. Hopefully, they can find some more survivors too. Let's move on to New Zealand. Cyclone Gabrielle. Thousands left without power. Some 46,000 homes have lost power in Cyclone Gabrielle lashes the north of New Zealand. Authorities have issued warnings of heavy rain and winds, and hundreds of flights have been canceled. Some areas have declared a state of emergency as Gabrielle nears the North Island, and it comes weeks after Auckland and surrounding areas were hit by record rainfall that sparked floods and killed 4 people. Extreme weather events has come on the back of extreme weather event, said New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins, who announced a $7.3 million aid package, and things are likely to get worse before they get better. Emergency Management Minister Kieran McAnulty told a media briefing on Monday that the government is considering declaring a national state of emergency for only the 3rd time in the country's history. A state of emergency has already been declared in 5 northern regions, including Auckland. The declaration gives local authorities greater power to respond to dangerous situations and allows them to restrict travel and provide aid. New Zealand's meteorological agency, Met Service, said Whangarei, a city north of Auckland, had received 100.5 millimeters of rain in the past 12 hours. And McAnulty added that Monday would be a critical day due to the highly dangerous combination of high winds and heavy rain. Winds were up to 140 kilometers an hour, and it battered the Northland region, while Auckland Harbour Bridge was rocked by gusts of 110 kilometers per hour. And of course, he warned that it could take days to restore the power grid as the bad weather made it unsafe to work on the network. Weather officials had earlier downgraded Gabriel's intensity, but Met Service in its latest update on Monday said it will still bring significant heavy rain and potentially damaging winds. Now, although the cyclone has yet to make landfall, it has already toppled trees, damaged roads, and downed power lines. Many schools and local government facilities across Auckland and the North Island have closed, and people are being asked not to travel if possible. Meanwhile, some 10,000 international Air New Zealand customers were disrupted by the cancellation of 509 flights, and normal services are expected to resume Tuesday, with the national carrier adding 11 extra domestic flights to its schedule to help with recovery efforts. The cyclone is the second significant weather event to hit Auckland and the North Island in just a few weeks. Authorities said the 2 large events have stretched the emergency and recovery response system. Last but not least, in world news, this is kind of crazy, guys. U.S. military shoots down a fourth flying object over North America, right? So another unidentified flying object in the fourth military operation of its kind this month. Joe Biden ordered it to be down near Lake Huron, close to the Canadian border on Sunday afternoon. The object could have interfered with commercial air traffic as it was traveling at 20,000 feet, a Pentagon statement said. It was first detected above military sites in Montana on Saturday. It added, the object, which was not deemed a military threat, has been described by defense officials as an unmanned octagonal structure with strings attached to it. It was downed by a missile fired from an F-16 fighter jet at 2:42 p.m. local time. The incident raises further questions about the spat of high-altitude objects that have been shot down over North America this month. And we all know about this first suspected spy balloon on February 4th, but they've already shot down 4, right? So China denies the object was used for spying, but it was like 200 feet tall. It was 60 meters tall. And we're going to see what's going to happen. They've collected a lot of the debris from the first one, so we'll get more information on what is going on down there. But so far, officials have not publicly identified the origin or purpose of these objects. Both the U.S. and Canada are still working to recover the remnants, but the search in Alaska has been hampered by Arctic conditions. So that is quite interesting to see. So that's the top 3 news around the world. Hope it's something that can help you guys out when it comes to prayer. Let's move into some sporting news. We'll start off with the Super Bowl. The NFL Super Bowl is finished. It finished before I started recording this. Kansas City Chiefs win their second Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes at the helm, 38-35, last-second field goal. MVP Patrick Mahomes, which means Patrick Mahomes in the last 5 years has 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. So he is on track to kind of getting close to where Tom Brady is. Tom Brady has 7 championships, which I do think is going to be very, very difficult for anyone to reach. But big congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. In second news, in soccer, Manchester City beats Aston Villa to close the gap behind leaders Arsenal in the Premier League. The score was 3-1, dominant win, and now the gap between Man City and Arsenal is only at 3 points. Man United also victory over Leeds 2-0, and once again, continuing his goal-scoring form, it's Marcus Rashford scoring the first goal for Manchester United and helps lead his side 2-0 victory over Leeds United. And over there in the Spanish La Liga, it's Barcelona that edges Villarreal to go 11 points clear in the Liga, which means that Real Madrid was going to have a very difficult time to catch up. It looks like they have it in the bag, right? Last but not least, in the NBA, trade deadline is done, but there is this big complication because of Gary Payton Jr., who he failed his physical, and he's part of a 4-team trade, but the Golden State Warriors had until Sunday night to figure out what they wanted to do, but they will keep him. But I think they are going to be discussing with the NBA to punish Portland with a fine and loss of draft picks if an investigation were to discover a failure to disclose relevant information on Payton's abdominal injury that required offseason surgery and forced him to miss the first 35 games of the season. So the Warriors believe they should have been told that Payton had been using Toradol to alleviate pain. So they are going to accept him, but he's not going to be able to play for the next 3 months. So it should be quite interesting to see what's going to happen. They're not going to be able to use him, but they've lost another player too. They might pick someone off of waivers pretty soon too. So let's see what happens there. All right. So there it is, guys. Top 3 news in sports and around the world. And I hope it's something that really helps you guys to pray, give you better prayer to, of course, not the sports, but of course, it's the world news. All right. So there it is, guys. That is the news around the world. But you know what that means? It is the golden time. And yes, it is the golden time, a time of praise and worship to the Holy Trinity. Hope all of you guys are looking forward to giving glory to God and the Holy Spirit. So, what are we going to praise and worship today? We're going to start off with connection, and then today as I follow the Lord, and we'll end things off with the Lord forever. So as one body of the Morning Star Drive, let's spend this time giving praise, honor, and glory to the Holy Trinity.
just by brushing by. But if skin brushes skin, will they just merely connect? That will make them turn into lovers. If clothing brushes clothes, it could last for 10 years. But if it's skin to skin, 100 years. If it's our hearts that touch them together, we should live for 1,000 years. Two people may connect just by brushing by. But if skin brushes skin, will they just merely connect? That will make them turn into lovers. If clothing brushes clothes, it could last for 10 years. But if it's skin to skin, 100 years. If it's our hearts that touch them together, we should live for 1,000 years. So then, if we are brushed by God, how many years should we remain by His side, living together? Years aren't enough to measure. We must live forever, tied to each other, always together We'll live in perfect
Following the Lord again today, never changing, I have walked this path. I don't look back on the times of old, I don't look back. No, I will not ever look back. Singing the songs of this new history as we serve the Lord we love. There's no regret as we follow this road of providence. History goes round and round again. Providence history repeats again. There's only a thick cloud of grief in the times of old. All that's left is a cloud of grief. The trumpet call of this new history as we think about the Lord. There's no regret as we proclaim and shout out the word. I've been fond of Providence Hill. Just like heaven, I long for it so. The sun shines brightly on the road that I must take, shining on this road to heaven above. The word of truth, the word of true love seeps deep into my soul. There's no regret walking this road now and evermore. The word of truth, the word of true love seeps deep into my soul. There's
So now that our hearts are made ready through that time of praise and worship, and I hope you guys really enjoyed that singing together, let's get into today's word study. And of course, every single Tuesday, we're going to go into the practical word study. Yes, what can we do with this week's message? And there are a ton of things that Sunseam said that we can do. And there's like those 6-7 things that we have to really fight to do in order for us to live the greatest victory in life. Tons of different things we're going to talk about today. But the first one, I think it's my favorite one. Sunseam straight up said sticky notes, right? Post-it notes. I don't know, those of you guys in America, Canada, it's post-it notes. You know, those yellow sticky notes you put onto the wall in your fridge or whatever it is, sticky notes. And what was this? Sunseam said he used to write on his arms or his hands about the things that he needed to fix about himself. So, yes, I do suggest... One second, I dropped my phone. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear me? All right, I think you guys can hear me. But one thing that I thought was quite interesting is the times are different from Sunseam's time and it is now. So I do think we have to do it in a different type of way, right? So please don't write on your hand. A lot of times the ink does get into your skin. It's not healthy for you. Of course, you're not going to die from it or anything like that. But no, that's just keeping yourself safe. But I think one of the things we need to do, and I think it's because of the human mind, like one of the things that I thought that was quite interesting, a study that was made on how many choices does it take for the human brain to be confused, right? So if you have more options than this, then your brain is going to be too confused. It's too hard for you. Okay, so what's the number? The number is 5, right? So if you have chocolate bars in front of you, you probably just want to have 5. And if you only have 5, it's a lot easier than having like 10 or 20 of them. It's very, very hard for your brain to choose it, right? There's just too much. And so what we're going to talk about now is how can we organize our thoughts in our brain to figure out what we need to fix? And I think we need to go by topic and priority. Like, I know that all of us have many things to change, many things that we have to change about our character, many things we have to change about our health, many things we have to change about the way we eat, many things there's just so many things we have to change, right? But we also have to realize that they're all important, but not all of them are urgent. And some of them are urgent, but not really that important either, right? And some things are short-term, some things are long-term, and we have to think about this in different levels. So what I would suggest is, picking certain things, I would take a certain topic, right? Or a category. Like for instance, personal. If I look at my personal life, I'll split that into 2 categories of my physical health and my character, right? If it's my job or school, it's getting your work done, getting your studies done, like on time. If it's my spiritual life, it's my missions or my basic faith. Or if it's my relationships, it's about me, my relationship with my friends and my family, right? Or like say your pastors or whatever it is. And the one thing I would do is I wouldn't try to get one thing done in every topic because it's just too many things to look at. And the thing that I would say that you'd have to really look at it carefully is know that you have to be self-aware. And that's one thing I really think that people have to be better at. Be self-aware, understand what you're good at, what you're not good at, right? And then look at there's going to be when you look at personal with health and character, health-wise, I'm pretty good with that stuff, with what I eat, not eating too much, going to exercise every day, like that kind of stuff, I can do it, right? So for that, I don't really have to focus so much on it. Why? Because I'm already doing it. And because it's already a habit, it's something that I'm going to do anyways. But something I think all of us are probably going to look at is maybe character. What is one thing I can change about my character, right? Second thing, if I look at job or school, getting your responsibilities done, what are you doing for your job? What am I doing for my podcast as my job, right? Did I upload it? And obviously I didn't on Friday, and I got to be able to have a checklist of getting these things done, right? Is your work always getting done on time? Or, for me is one of the things when it comes to job and school, it's one of the biggest things for me is you got to schedule everything in. Schedule the time you're going to do that work. It's just a lot of times people are so vague. You have a project due on Friday. It's I got to get this project done by Friday. And if you're a little bit better, you might say, I'm going to work on it on Thursday. But if you're really, really good, you're going to say, I'm working on it on Thursday from 5 to 10. I'm working on it Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right? Like that's where you become much better at doing these things on time. And one of the biggest problems that people have, like I said all the time, is it's scheduling. People are terrible at scheduling. Very, very terrible at scheduling, right? So job or school, look at those problems we have there. Look at your spiritual life, your missions, your basic faith. What are you getting done? What are you not getting done? Look at your relationships with your family and your friends, your church, whatever it is, your work relationships, whatever it is there. Look at all those things. Now, after you write those 4 categories, and then after you write all the different things that you want to get done, I would sit there and I would actually prioritize them of what's really important. Like, what's something I can really focus on? What's one thing? Like, I would even focus on maybe on just 1 or 2 things. Not 1 or 2 things in each category, just 1 or 2 things. Right? Like, one thing is, my character, I gotta fix this. And number 2 is, I gotta work on this for my basic faith. I gotta focus on this. And then those would be my 2 things that I'm really, really gonna be focusing on, because the more and more things that we say, I gotta do this, you're already burdened in your mind and you end up giving up on everything. So it's far better to pick maybe just 1 or 2 things you wanna change. And honestly, I think even 1 is better. Just focusing on that one thing is something that people are very, very good at, right? So that's kind of the thing that I would do. Get your sticky notes, and to make it even better with your sticky notes, because we're in a different time than Sunseam is back then. You know, he's saying sticky notes, which is still well above his time in the past, right? But I would say write it on a sticky note and then take a picture of it, put it on your wallpaper on your phone. Like that's to the extent that I think would be even better if it's something you really, really wanted to fix. Write the sticky note, take a picture of it, and put it on your phone. Like, even for my phone, one thing that's kind of cool is you can take, my wallpaper for my phone. So every time I open my phone, I can see that wallpaper of that sticky note. You can actually have rotating pictures. So I can write down, like, say 2 different things and put them into one wallpaper, and it's going to just flip between the 2, so I'll be reminded of both of those things, right? So I think that's one of the ways you can do. I think it's a little bit more current doing it that way, because no one uses sticky notes anymore, like always like posting it everywhere in your room and stuff. No one really does that anymore, but I do think you can post it, put it somewhere important, and then take a picture of it and put it in your wallpaper, and I think that'll be even better. Okay, so that's kind of one of the big things I do think that we can work on. The second thing I think is the list of 6 things, like living the greatest life of victory. And I'm going to give the exact same advice as I gave for the first one. There are 6 to 7 things out there that we can really do diligently and really work hard to fight, right? So that we can live the greatest life. Like one of the ones that I definitely put down is laziness. Right? And there are 6 to 7 things that you can focus on. But like the other thing I talked about before, is definitely recommend focusing on 1, if not 2 things instead of all 7. Right? And my advice is the same, because there are some things people are already doing well. Like I think number 4 was like pray sincerely. There are people already out there praying sincerely, which means they don't need to focus on number 4, right? So I do think find 1 or 2 things, right? Because some things you are already pretty good at that you might not be as weak, and maybe point them out and put them in priority of like top, as this is a really, really high priority number 1. And 7 is I'm kind of already doing it, not really a priority yet, right? And it's just, honestly, guys, there's just too much to do in life. There is. We got to work, we got to go to school, we got to eat, we got to cook, we got to clean, we got to sleep, right? We got to hang out with friends, we got to entertain. There's just so many things going on that is very, very difficult to do like 5, 6, and remember 6, 7 things. You can memorize it, but it doesn't mean you're actually going to do it, right? And for myself, the 2 big that I chose, because I thought, preaching I can do, I'm doing that, and pray or this or that, like all these things I have in my mind. But the 2 ones is, number 1 is laziness. Right? And number 2 is the managing self and others, right? And mine is more towards others, because a lot of my time I do spend by myself anyways. I'm trying to manage myself really well, but it's also helping others too. Because that one thing that Sunseam said in the message is, when one person makes a mistake, it affects everyone because we're in the same body. So managing other people is actually managing yourself too, because you're going to have to deal with it anyways, right? all the difficult things that are happening in your churches, all the different things happening in your nations, in the country, whatever it is, whether it's, inside a department, inside your family, whatever it is, if you're only taking care of yourself, you're still going to have to put out the fires that all the other people around you are doing. And I thought that was a really meaningful thing, that we need to take care of each other more, right? So these two things, like I'm saying, guys, do not burden yourselves. If anything, put a list, put it in priority, and pick one. Just pick one thing to focus on. And actually, there's two things I told you to do, right? The first one is the sticky notes and what you're going to correct. And number two is the list of 6 things that you can really fight to do so that you can live the greatest life of victory, right? And if you really take a look at those the things that we need to fix, and also the 6 different things that we need to live the greatest life of victory, you're going to see that a lot of them do overlap, and I would overlap them together so that you can pick something that can actually kill two birds with one stone, right? So that's the big thing is, don't put too much emphasis, don't do too much, but really, really focus on doing things in a very practical way, and in a way that it's actually achievable. If you put too much on your plate and you miss one thing, you get discouraged, you don't want to do anything anymore, but just focus on one thing and, work on that one thing, not expecting, if you just have that one thing, you're like, okay, I got to work on this tomorrow again. But if you make a mistake on something, then all of a sudden it's like, what? Oh, I can't even do this, and I still have 6 more things to do. Then people get discouraged. But if it's just that one thing, it's like, okay, come on, man. Get your mind on it again. Let's go. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this, guy. Let's do this, guy. Let's make sure that we get this done, right? And it's a lot easier than feeling overburdened by the other different things. Either way. All right? So there it is, guys. That is the practical word study. If you guys have any other things that you think would be very practical from this week's message, go ahead, post it. Would love to hear what you guys are doing too to make the words even more practical. All right? So there it is, guys. That is the word study for today. Hope you guys really enjoyed that. It's something that I like to, I like to rack my brain over the word and just try to think about what is the best thing to do in each of the situations. So I hope that helps out. If you have any comments, go leave a comment below. Would love to hear what you think about that also. All right. So let's get into today's song of choice. And it's another request all the way from Ina over there in America. And this is also another Providence song by the Somebody Boys, but she requested this. And this song that I don't play very often. This is from the Somebody Boys. This song is called Heartbeat. So this is done a long time ago, and you can tell it's done a long time ago because when you hear the Somebody Boys voices, they sound they don't sound as deep. If you know what I'm saying. Like their voice sounds a little bit higher, like, like they haven't hit puberty. But yeah, everyone, this is from Ina over there in America, a big request. This song is from the Somebody Boys. This song is Heartbeat.
The beat is fading, my vision's hazy, I'm going crazy. I'm not one of your patients, applying the medication, healing through meditation, discerning the situation. If I have the Lord on my head, then I'm fine. But Satan tries to take away time, tries to take away me, tries to take what's mine. But I'm not so kind. The word is pumped into my vessel. Now I'm turning to a vessel. Now I'm on another level. Now I know I never tremble.
Even though we're far apart, my thoughts, they are so near. With a smile on my face, I'm shedding only happy tears. My heart is racing, that's pounding, cause I feel you here. I love you so much, much, that I can feel your heartbeat, your heartbeat, beat. I feel your heartbeat, beat, beat. I feel your heartbeat cause I fell in love with you. I feel your heartbeat cause I am in love with you.
When our eyes touched, it was something special that my heart's gonna be. It was I couldn't describe my true feeling for you, what has happened to me. I found the treasure of life, it was you, now you made me complete. I'm stuck in a trance, I just wanna dance, I want you to know how I feel, I'm in love. You crashing my heart like a strong wave, knocking me off of my feet. You never fail to make me smile, Lord, man, why you so sweet? You make me so happy, I want you honest with me. My heart is pumping, running and rushing, I know that you got me.
I feel your heartbeat, even though we're far apart. I feel your heartbeat and remember how I felt back at the start. Even now forward to the day we'll meet. Cause I wanna see you, yeah, I wanna meet you. I wanna be someone you need, someone who feels you. If I could be someone who makes you smile more as we wait for the day that we're reunited, I'd be happy, Lord.
I'm feeling you happy, so I'ma give that best to me. I'm feeling you happy, you're making me feel so complete. I'm feeling you happy, just waiting the day that we'll meet. I'm feeling you happy, cause victory has been achieved.
Even though we're far apart, my thoughts they are so near. With a smile on my face, I'm shedding only happy tears. And my heart is racing, yeah, it's pounding, cause I feel you here. I love you so much, much that I can feel. Feel your heartbeat, your heartbeat, beat. I feel your heartbeat, beat, beat. I feel your heartbeat cause I fell in love with you. I feel your heartbeat cause I am in love with you. Feel your heartbeat, beat. I feel your heartbeat, beat, beat. I feel your heartbeat cause I fell in love with you. I feel your heartbeat cause I am in love with you. I feel your heartbeat, beat. I feel your heartbeat, beat, beat. I feel your heartbeat cause I am in love with you. I feel your heartbeat cause I am in love with you.
And that was Heartbeat, and that was the Sumney Boys and Mariah Henry, so they did that collab right there. Hope you guys really enjoyed that. Great selection request from Ina over there in America. Hope you guys really enjoyed that too. And of course, we are, today, Provi in the media. Interestingly enough, as I'm recording this, more and more articles are coming out about Sunseam's trial right now, but it's not all of it yet, and I don't think the trial's over because there's a closed hearing that's going on, most likely a closed hearing going on too with some other witnesses just to protect the witnesses and stuff. So I think we'll get a better idea. Maybe a little bit later, more and more things will come out too. So I will keep you guys updated tomorrow. I'll definitely keep you guys updated and find out as much as I can so that you guys can all be updated on what is happening with the trial. All right. So if that's the case, then as crazy as this sounds, we are actually ending our podcast really early. It's only been an hour, and I'm usually doing an hour and a half and stuff like that too, and we usually have other guests on here, but it's just because we couldn't do Provi in the media today. I really, really hope that I was able to get everything done by now, but it doesn't seem like it, but I don't want to rush it either if more and more information comes out too. All right, everyone. Have an awesome Tuesday. I know you guys are all doing well. If you guys have any prayer requests or anything else, remember, go ahead, send it to the email that's in the description below for the Prayer Podcast. If you have any questions, DMs, questions for the Q&A Thursday, go ahead and DM me or leave it in the comments below. Would love to hear that too. And of course, all you guys out there, thank you so much once again for listening, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow on the Morning Star Drive on 117.8.
The Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and feel your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when I'm like this. I got my head in the zone, you know.